Hi there. So I did a video the other day in which I did a monologue called The Donnellys. And as you can tell, I am not Irish, but that monologue was someone that was given by an Irish person. So I'd like to preface this by saying I think I have a good Irish accent. I think I do most accents fairly well. There's a couple like Australian accents. I'm terrible at that. I really have to work on it. But anyway, Irish accents, I think I'm good at. So if there's an Irish person listening to this and you think I'm terrible, sorry. Or if someone wants to give me some feedback, if they think that I'm terrible, whatever, do that, please. So anyway, okay, I want to go over an Irish accent a little bit with you guys. And I've been acting for many years and I've done different accents and I don't have a hard time with them. So this wasn't terribly hard for me to pick up with the Irish accent. So I'm going to do it by going through my monologue. So to begin, it goes, why was I a Donnelly? So, okay, why? It's kind of like when a word ends in Y, ends in an I, obviously Y doesn't end in I, but it ends in the I sound, sort of. It's always IY, or it's kind of like when someone says yay, you're going why. So that's pretty much anytime there's an I or I sound, it's followed by that y, kind of like it's the subtle y. So why was I, was. S's are pretty much most of the time.
I?
My daughter Elle is speaking. Elle, would you like to get in the camera at least? Okay, that's enough of you. Okay, so was. So S's are often the Z sound. No, or else they actually can be, if you say it some other way, you'll see maybe some examples. The S's are the S. So actually that one was more, it sounded like more like a Z than an S, but actually to be very exact, why was I Donnelly? Why was I a Donnelly? Was. So it's more of the sound than we say when everything's flat in Canadian, US English.
You keep my brand in the purse.
Oh, she's so pretty. Okay, so why was I a Donnelly? So that's that I Donnelly. Pretty much okay. That's not hard to imagine for this one, but why was I Donnelly? Everything is every or every A just about, most A's just about, I won't generalize too much, is an UH sound. So why was I Donnelly? But don't do that with the unless, there's a couple times you should, but not very often should you make it really obvious that it's a UH. It actually, it's more like I don't know how to say that short UH, but it basically is a short UH. It's not ah. So anyway, why was I Donnelly? No. Now I'm sounding funny, but I'm just trying to stress it. Why was I a Donnelly? Donnelly. So we'll just take that word. La is la. So put your tongue towards the top of your mouth, not like just the flat L that we do in Canadian American English. Why was I a Donnelly? La. Why was I a Don? And okay, so O's generally, you put your lips in this, go ooh, what are you doing? Ooh. So it's more of a ooh sound. It would kind of be like the German O with umlauts over top of it, almost sort of. So why was I a Donnelly? Okay, so an E at the end, A. Donnelly, that's the IY. So now I'm going to go a little bit faster because this is just taking forever. And I don't mind, but you don't want to go through this for however long. So why was I a Donnelly? Because from the courts, because, so it ends with the S again is the S. So because from the courts. So O again, sort of, but it's a little bit different because it has the COURTS. So from the courts of Heaven. Why was I Donnelly? Because from the courts of heaven. It's hard to say at this moment, but the V is usually the F sound. It's like German, but I keep comparing things to German because I can speak a little bit of German, and I actually am told I have a pretty good German accent. Petra, you're listening to this. Yeah, that was probably bad. But in my German class, and that's why I learned her type of German. And my accent to you sounds a little funny, but she said I had a good German accent. And rabbit trail, sorry. Okay, so why Sayadonale? Because from the courts of heaven, when you're there, when you're ter. So that's the issue. I don't usually have a problem saying the TH with an Irish accent. It's the T sound, T. But it's not just T, it's T. You kind of have to have the staccato to it. So from the courts of heaven, when you're ter, and that word is okay. So obviously TH is usually T, but it's the T, ter. So ERE, terror. So I'm going to generalize. I think ERE is generally the air sound. Air sound more often, but it's hard to say that without a vowel, a consonant following. So, what from the courts of heaven when you're terror, you will see. OU is usually the oo. So I guess it's not as much as the oo, like moon, but oo. I don't know. Can you see my lips when you're there? You will see that. Long before you were born, you chose. I'm gonna skip some parts. Long before you were born, you chose us to be a Donnelly and laughed. So the F again. That's kind of the F sound. Laughed. So we'll do that because I want you to see my lips kind of laughed at the course of heaven, and you laughed at. I've lost where I am, but anyway, your fate. Sounds so goofy, but you laughed at your fight, and lay down with it like a bride. La. We're doing the la sound. There's very rarely an L that's just flat. So lie, doesn't matter, it's a different word, but lie, and the I again is the IY sound. So it's the like a bride, right? R doesn't, it's not r, but it's not flat either. Bride. It's kind of like when you say brine, but move your lips funny. I don't know. So you lay down with your feet like a bride. And okay, skipping ahead. So I am proud to be a Donnelly against all the contempt of the world. It's just even OF, like obviously it's a short little word, but you just throw in that sound again. The world. It's obviously you can't say moon exactly the same. You can't put your lips like world, but you kind of do. Of the contempt of the world. So that's why I'm proud to be a Donnelly. I'm proud. That's proud. So D is try the T sound kind of, but the proud. How I'll just put my lips closer. Proud to be a Donnelly. I am proud. That's my mutter. So you can say mutter there or mudder. Not really mudder. That's kind of French. Getting it. It's not really there. But mutter is, I guess, would be a better word. Mutter, and it's in German. It would be like where you're going muti. It's mut. It's more of a The is a loose lip sound. So mutter. When you're there, you're. I'm proud that my mutter confirmed. My brother was a fiddle in the forest long before the bishop and the friar. And there's something with Irish accents. You have to know that your words, like English is quite, even not quite as much as German, but it's quite staccato. Like it's that might not be the right word, but there's a definite, you can tell that there's a break like between your words. Like when you're speaking Spanish or French, and I only speak a little of both, like, and little of French, but a little tiny bit more of Spanish. But either way, they're much more like you can't almost tell the end of one word where one word ends and one begins. So okay, what's a good example of je m'appelle? I couldn't spell that because I'm actually not sure. Je m'appelle, which is the beginning and which is of one word, and where the end of one word, sorry, and the beginning of another. So, and je ne comprends pas français. I'm not entirely sure some of those words, where they begin and where they end. So anyway, okay, so that Irish is a lot like that. So, but you generally find that you're not speaking fast. You're combining your sounds. So good example would be like at all. I hate it when people say at all. In English, but in Canada, I hate it when people say that unless they're actually Irish or something. But that's what it obviously came from Ireland, or if that's completely wrong, I'm sorry, comment below if I'm completely wrong. And it's some kind of other cultural thing. It's not from Canadian English, I don't think. So now I'll put my monologue up in the iCard, the link in the iCard, and so you can try to listen to that monologue and see where I combine the words, because just offhand I can't remember what I did, but I know it's there. I know I did it, and I thought of examples this morning, but I can't think of them now. So anyway, when you're there, you will see that no matter what, how the sticks and stones caught ya, I'm jumping all over, and smashed ya, and bruised ya, and a baker and a brewer forced you to work for them, for nothing, from the eye of God, I. So they're kind of, you really stress the Y. I, of good, in which you will someday, that's that, not just the someday walk, you will see that once, long before you were born, you chose to be a Donnelly and laughed at what it would mean. Skip. And I loved my mother. That's part of the monologue. I loved my mother. She's trying to say love. You might not even be able to tell there. I loved my mother. My mother. So that's back to what I was going on that rabbit trail before about mooty. It's not mooty. It's I loved my mother. But it's okay. I'll skip that. This isn't a German lesson. And I'm not the one to be teaching German anyway, because I don't know very much about German. So I loved my mother and wish I had shared her fate beside her. But oh, would it have been, and I'm accentuating my lips, I hope I didn't look this ridiculous on the monologue, but oh, would it have been different, but still would it have been different. I'm trying to think of some more words that would help you, but it's mostly just, I guess, remember with Irish, more than anything, you really have to talk. I'm going to talk like the leprechaun off of Lucky Charms at the moment, or kind of, sort of, something like that. But like saying the monologue, why was I a Donnelly? Because from the course even when you're there, you'll see that no matter how the sticks and stones caught you and bruised you and smashed you. So picture, you're obviously you can't do a comical, happy thing in a dramatic monologue all the time. You're not happy. I'm not happy as when I'm doing the Donnellys. I'm not like, this is a happy moment. But still, you're whistling. You're almost whistling with an Irish accent. And I was there. And so you can't be the happy little leprechaun when you're supposed to be portraying a sad moment or sad person. But just picture that guy in the little whistle, and that's that S. Whistle. Why, when I was there, there's kind of like a whistle. It's like you should be speaking it from the front of your mouth. German is the back of your mouth. You don't want to speak from there. You want to speak from the front of your mouth. Kind of like a little bit like French and a little bit like Spanish, but they're a little bit farther back, I think, even in your mouth. They're not quite as guttural as German by any means, but they're still, I think they're a little more guttural than Irish accents. So remember that. Combining words, tree. The word three, I just like saying this example. 1, 2, 3. Tree, that is a word that I think I say okay